Hello, black people's here on that. Hello, species value nature system. The FBI, state police, Weathersfield police, Rocky Hill police, Newington police, military, foreign and domestic, they have predicate acts with facts, also with overt criminal enterprises, private ones, and unions, and uses names on off the union locations and next to body dumping spots, as their roles also with various natures of federal criminals and murderers per them before they got caught and covering up because constantly they were showing needs. Like there's a Brian Silver and our others associated with him with the intelligence community at New Britain Superior Court and Hartford courts before the World Trade Center attack. They've been planting evidences at West Hartford and Newington, New Britain, intercities locations on off religious spots. There's a park that's near West Farms Mall, has something to do with all kinds of natures of foreign and domestic medical corruption, just concentrated though, because these are people that are involved with courts and prisons, on off the state corrections offices. There was a whole bunch of people with the intelligence community next to Trinity College and next to CCSU who are personally and professionally connected. Central Connecticut State University, CCSU, it's in New Britain, Connecticut, and Trinity College is in Hartford, Connecticut. These are also sources of Tucker Carlson, Mr. Waters with Waters World. See, these are people that are also, everyone's a certain type of victim / hyper victim with a breaching method applied functionally. However, one would and does leave out how non-distinctly everyone is a victim / hyper victim. And not one person has success, black pupils. See, the people that want to have debates about that, oh, I can debate that, look, I'm rich, I have success. In other words, that's what the networks are doing. They have Gail King involved with this, sickly distinctly from Tucker, for example, but they have collusion. Also next to Tucker's, and see, Tucker Carlson and Mr. Waters World. Mr. Waters has Jesse Waters. They went to Trinity College, and all colleges are great, and where and how there are bad things about them. This breaching method assigned that to measure and maintain when people make treatments of what is positive or negative. That and how you leave out how the breaching method is inseparable from syntactical reception, perception, and diffusion of what is positive and negative per how nature shows black pupils. But we were forced to begin America abridged. And we were directed to understand that. But rather than understand that, we have sequence shift games. So, and they're keeping self-valued those summaries of American history that leave out and change and allow it to measure and maintain functional how left out and changed. Is that and how James Madison and the founders behind him developed agreed to use James Madison plan to make a means to the path to freedom where there were no means at A through Z. Countries A through Z, colonial countries A through Z, they are already being and haven't been used, including, in other words, with summaries of history. Criminally foreign influence / hyper-criminally foreign influence, 3 ways. This is also where and how nature is relative. It's all right. There are ways to criminally say, oh, I will bring it to courts. Black pupils. The courts assigned roles where they would punish and hurt and kill people and everyone around them if they didn't take roles with the slavery of others, therefore of themselves. We were supposed to be honest about the extortion of George Washington, let alone of James Madison, our founders behind him. Here, you guys can't be honest about the behavior of your own behavior or that of others. So on a mass scale, they've been attaching people to fake and change behavior. And then when we have mental health locations like the Institute of Living in Hartford Hospital, on the campus of Hartford Hospital, founded in 1822. See, they have mental health experts who have badges and gavels who are putting fake things in databases because their family members have criminally were used or remotely criminally foreign influence, use slash S of investigations, investigators, and all natures of perception, A through Z, or they sense that body, even if it's a majority of people, even if it's a majority of countries. This breaching method came from semi-ancient times, that referred to as ancient in your schools. But in other words, before modern religions were founded, the sciences had become criminally foreign influence, tactically delusions raw. Nature shows us means to discern this. English, for example, is to reveal, to teach about the difference between short words and long words, tactical ulterior, from the experts on English now that they're allowed people to discern. They're pretending things are debatable that are not. Increasingly, they are shown needs to hide what is actually was and is actually communicated. Communications is simultaneously greater than, more finite than, and it is with active relativity to what is said in ways, in other words, the ways we know, finite, grouped, and simultaneous, but also as it is as itself. The value of what came true first in sequence, and the value of what is to come. Its identity relationship to itself. And the value of that is the value of the seasons grouped individually and together. And it is manifest that way because how nature's identity, its identity relationship to itself. And the only increasing value of that shows us how more and more forever nature is being made per science, using the identity of relativity slash hyperrelativity. Because it also shows us the difference, there is a difference between the simultaneous and the hypersimultaneous. There is an identity of scientific value associated with explaining how to discern. For example, not the other species' bodies and not humanity invented why and how the different species' bodies have two eyes, have exceptions, exception, nature, and demonstration of the same thing, which is the species body of individual bodies as Earth, while not, while as individual bodies, but while grouped. So we are individuals of an individual species body. And the other species bodies have the same fact because we have all, we are individuals with grouped difference, singular, slash S. And that slash S part, that species body part, nature shows us how we are bound while not simultaneously because nature's communication system, that is hypernative pure. So we have courts with news locations, WFSB, WTNH, WFSB, sickly distinctly too, because per functionally, how sickly non-distinctly is used functionally when it is left out by their members individually grouped in together. They use wire crime acts and methods with the people who answer the phones for the news media. They have cyber police and natures of industries with cyber police who jump into people's conversations as sometimes them completely criminally foreign influence, and sometimes it's the social media pages. Twitter has roles with the FBI with proven principal child abuser and more upskirt natures since, upskirt pictures since, but they were involved with worse. I caught the principal child abuser in jail for upskirt pictures. I caught them with worse with him and with more people involved. Retired police chiefs with the same house slash S involved with wire crime acts and methods with them, and one's tied to them. Dear God. Now these are their roles with Afghanistan and with through time and with Pakistan. And Tucker Carlson has roles with Pakistan and people from Trinity College involved into cities, planting evidences also at town lines. In other words, reported somewhere he was in Pakistan. And these are people that will record their switching names and forging names. They're putting fake evidences on campuses that are filmed 24/7. There's a former standing chairperson on the Racketeering, Influencing, Corrupt Organization Act, former uh, director of the FBI, Robert Luskin. There's also a James Comey. I don't know if that's a real director, but he's one of the ones with former director of the FBI, recorded involved with predicate acts with facts methods, individually grouped and together, that the branches of government have. And the difference of them roles with it, and the exceptions, not as them but as them anyway, like the intelligence, foreign and domestic, associated with Sandy Hook campuses, including fire campuses and medical campuses there in Sandy Hook, Newtown, Connecticut. These are also more leaders of the kids, and the difference of the parents, some of the parents, and the difference of off school. So I've been talking about this for years, but I've been watching this. I've been asking for a whole bunch of any response to any of the things I noted. You guys are ignoring me. You guys you have me and others attached to fake conversations with police when I was a kid and I was an adult, and with doctors. And at the same time, WFSB did this. This is with the intelligence next to them and next to Fox Connecticut News, which is next to the state capitol now. Oh! In other words, and you guys can't be honest about behavior. Oh, well, look, that's why we don't know you're lying. Take me off the fake conversations with you guys and stuff, pretend it's personal too. In other words, because that'll be evidence more. In other words, you guys are supposed to follow mandated law. You guys have more rules with the principal child abuser, also with sexual cliques, like with a transsexual business location next to Trinity College, with the intelligence community involved with actual child offenders. Then they pretend that it's their prejudice against them being transsexual has something to do with the guy who was in a dress up the street from me when I was jogging by, associated with the people with the name Cololo and O'Brien, involved further with Sandy Hook campuses in the principal child abusers campus. Also, increasingly, mayors from Wethersfield have roles with identity theft, fraud, slanders, planting fake ties and fake natures of ties to people completely made up, and then try acting so they can pretend passions and emotions. Has something to do with their roles with the educational of the building too, and the spots next to it. Overt criminal enterprises are involved with the New Britain Superior Court families and their sources, and private ones, and with the Hartford courts. See, they have to hide lie progressions because they have their roles with the deposition of former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, and his co-defendants, and their lawyer, involved with foreign and domestic military, planting evidences at West Hartford locations, in the Britain locations, and Wethersfield interbranch locations, and how the Department of Corrections is right on and off the Franklin Avenue and the Wethersfield Hartford town line. Through timing, increasingly they have roles. Know how also there was a reported. Well, I'll get to that before I report. In other words, you guys have to fix the news because they have the cyber police and they're manipulating who's guilt. In other words, they're using the truth for a lie that they don't want to be caught for guilt. That's why we have to address the wire crime acts and methods, where everyone's forcing everyone to speak through others at the news locations and at the interbranch locations, and their motives, narratives. Of course, they have negative value nature progressions and too many people at once going into the superior courts. Swamping all the phenomena associated with the tactically delusions wrought, criminally foreign influenced, probation courts, judges, a whole bunch of different natures of roles with probation courts, where elderly people are locked in elderly homes that are way below human morality and means. And while they're pretending other, they can't afford what's recorded to be discerned. See, the police forms with them and the judges' families made a lot of money. But we want to go back for those motives. You're going to do that forever. And you never have it cleared up like this if you don't stay on the predicate acts with facts. So they have remote uses of the sense and sensibilities of Judge Napolitano's Judging Freedom YouTube page, beginning from their sustained use /S of his Facebook page, involved with the also Pakistani cyber police and their roles with the mobile gas stations on the Saustine Highway with some KKK, Confederate flag themed and black themed military police, people on off Yukon involved with all kinds of psychiatry delusions to black pupils and criminal foreign influences. These are great campuses, A through Z. It's nothing personal. They put fake conversations with people and pretend people make conspiracy theories and say everyone's evil in the fake conversations, which is also evidence. That's why we got to get them onto paper and get them off the campuses, the mental health, and get the paper, the parents who pretend they want that informed. There's some bad things going on. Fear God. Make sure that Judge Napolitano responds. Get them one name and sequence for a Connecticut interbranch. They've been asked. Now!